Hey everybody, this is James,
Marco,
Nabil,
and Mikey.
and this is the Movie Pass Podcast, episode 202. Today we're going to be reviewing the new Superman film, but also revisiting some older Superman films before we get into that main review. So let's get into it. So I guess we should do a little intro. So what we are doing, we're going to be touching base on the screen debuts of the motion picture Superman.
Superman Legacy.
So that includes the Christopher Reeve film Superman, but also Superman 2, because they're pretty much one film if you look at it that way. Especially they were shot back to back. Especially we're looking at the Donner cut of the second film. Superman Returns with Brandon Routh, and then Man of Steel with Henry Cavill, followed by the main review of the new Superman film, David Cornsett. So we're going to start off with Superman from 1978.
Easy, miss. I've got you. On the whole, I'd say it's been swell.
Swell?
To commit the crime of the century, a man would just naturally want to face the challenge of the century. For the opportunity of destroying everything that he represents.
Otis, take the gentleman's cape.
I don't think he wants me to, Mr. Luthor.
This one's sitting at 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. An alien orphan is sent from his dying planet to Earth, where he grows up to become his adopted home's first and greatest superhero. Directed by Richard Donner, who also directed The Goonies in 1985, Lethal Weapon in 1987, and Radio Flyer in 1992. Written by Mario Puzo, who did The Godfather, Godfather Part 2. David Newman and his wife Leslie Newman did Bonnie and Clyde, Superman 3, Takedown, and Robert Benton, who did Kramer's Kramer and Bonnie and Clyde as well. This was released on December 15th, 1978, so Marco definitely caught it. And the budget was $55 million, and it was a huge box office success, grossing over $300.5 million. This stars Marlon Brando as Jor-El, Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor, Christopher Reeve as Clark Kent / Superman, Ned Beatty as Otis, Jackie Cooper as Perry White, Margot Kidder as Lois Lane, Valerie Perrine as Eve Teschmacher, and Mark McClure as Jimmy Olsen. I'm going to start with you, Nabil. What's your history with Superman from 1978?
honestly, I haven't seen this one too often. I caught it here and there on TV, but it wasn't one that I can recall as my first Superman film. I think it was more the second one that I saw originally. So I have a very mixed feeling. And watching this again, it was, I forgot how the ending was and where it was going. And I said, oh yeah, this is how this worked. This is how it kind of worked through compared to the second film. So
Yeah.
you know, it's not something I always went to as far as the original Superman series was concerned.
Okay. What about you, Marco?
I've seen this one a lot. I was in theaters opening day. It's crazy. Cigarette in my mouth. Shit, you could buy cigarettes in the movie theater back then.
Yeah, the kid used to come by, a young lady
Kids.
holding a cigarette cart.
Through a vending
Kids
machine.
next to me were smoking cigarettes. No, I'm just kidding.
They were
I've
6.
seen- I've seen this one ever since I lived in Oakland on TV, rented it, bought it. So I've seen it quite a few times over the last few years. I think before this watch, it had been at least maybe like 5 years or so since I'd seen it. Just something I put on every now and then. I think I saw it with Zan because he hadn't seen it, and I wanted to introduce him to this version of Superman. So yeah, I'm pretty well familiar with the first one. It's probably the one I've seen the most of the first two that we're going to review.
Gotcha. And Mikey, what about you? I understand. Is this the first time seeing it?
Yeah, I've never seen this movie before, as well as the second one that we're going to talk about. Haven't seen that one either.
Wow.
I'm not the biggest Superman fan, like just the character in general, not this movie, but the characters, they just made him overpowered, and I feel like he doesn't have too many flaws. So he just didn't really appeal to me when I was a kid for some reason. So I never really watched these movies until, later in life when I was kind of getting into movies and watching some of the other ones. I've seen some of the other ones here, but even the newer ones, I haven't seen them a lot. So it's just not a character I'm like super, super into.
Cool. Super glad we did a whole podcast on this. I've seen this one a few times. I watched this like later in life, though. I want to say I saw these in high school, probably when I was, as you guys know, when I went on a quest to watch every goddamn movie known to man, apparently. So I have nostalgia for it, but it's like a different time in life where it already had been out for, like 30 something years at that point. So I've seen it a few times. I probably saw it more recent than you guys. I have that 4K set that came out back in 23. So I watched them all on 4K discs 2 years ago. So this one was really pretty fresh on my mind still. We're going to touch on these. We're going to try to keep these a little bit shorter to it. So, and we'll kind of follow pace through them. What do you think then, Nabil? I know you're saying that overall movie wise, I just want to get your opinions on the movies and we'll just jump into a few things. What was your thoughts on rewatching this right now or for this pod?
It gave me a lot of nostalgia for Christopher Reeve, specifically just how he played Superman and Clark Kent and seeing the dynamic, how he portrayed him as separate people, which was great. I really like Margot Kidder. I was surprised. I forgot how well she was as Lois Lane in the series. So I really enjoyed that. So that gave me a lot of nostalgia as far as like this original Superman. I forgot how campy it was, and especially with Lex Luthor, Gene Hackman's character, and how cornball a lot of the stuff was in there. But it was like very fun. I forgot how much it was very almost not even comic booky, but like slapstick to some extent, with the exception of the relationship between Kent and Lois Lane. I feel that everything around it was just very comical, so I forgot how heavy they leaned into that. So that's some of the feelings I was going through. It was like, oh yeah, I remember it was a bit more jokey. There was some good Superman stuff. The plot itself starts in one way and then gets really ridiculous going forward.
Marco, what about you? What did you think briefly of the movie?
Thought it was fun, man. Echo some of the things that Nabil said. I just briefly disagree with the whole campiness. I think it's well balanced. You got the serious tone at the beginning in Krypton, and then as you get more involved with Superman's life, it does get a little more campy, comic booky, but I think it's well balanced.
What about you, Mikey?
I thought it was good. I thought it kind of starts off a little slow, but the cast is fantastic. I kind of echo what Nabil said about Superman himself and Christopher Reeves, but I thought everybody, Gene Hackman and Kidder, both did a great job in their roles as well. So I liked a lot of stuff here. There was a few things that kind of bothered me, but it didn't really take away that much from the movie for me. So liked it overall.
Yeah, I've always liked this film. So as I agree with Marco, yes, there are some campy moments in it. The suit doesn't look the greatest anymore now that we have more advanced things. But for the time, you gotta really look at it for like the time period, from 1978. A lot of it still pretty holds up. And I know the 4K version obviously cleans a lot of things up to it too. But there's I think it's just Christopher Reeve, man. He's awesome. Yeah. So he really is the selling point of these first, kind of two films to me at least. Mikey, you said some things didn't work for you. What didn't work for you then?
The kind of campiness that you guys were talking about already. Otis specifically just really kind of bothered me. I just didn't like his character at all. I mean, I like Ned Beatty, but it just didn't work for me this time here. Maybe it was my expectations of the film. Like I already have people talking about the film saying it's really good. I didn't expect that kind of campy feel to the movie. So it just caught me by shock. It was kind of shocking. So it just kind of threw me off a little bit. And I just never really kind of picked up and kind of went with it after that. That and Lois Lane screaming. I don't know why her scream just like pierced my ears. So it kind of got annoying really fast. But
yeah, she was a smoker, Mikey. Relax, okay? Sorry she didn't have perfect white teeth, okay? We get it. What about you, Nabil? You had a face of disgust back there. What worked for you in the plot? What didn't?
Well, I agree with the first half of the film was very strong, just like that origin story aspect of it. I actually did enjoy that. It was more the battle scenes of whatever, anytime Lex Luthor is showing up on the screen, as much as I like Gene Hackman and his kind of full all into the character, everything with him and then Eve Teschmacher and then Otis, like it just changed the tone for me every time I saw them together. And so that's where it was like really throwing me off. It was like Christopher Reeve was playing one character and then Gene Hackman was playing something else. And they were not like and in the same kind of tone as far as genre is concerned. I felt like one side was just too over the top and the other side was like, playing the mid of the character. So those interactions kind of threw me off a little bit.
I would say it's because Gene Hackman's playing more of like a real, like, he's really throwing it into that villain side.
He's hamming it up. Yeah. Which,
Superman
to your point,
like the stoic, like guy the whole time, at least.
And then to your point, like it is of the time too. They're trying to really portray something as far as like these bad guy, good guy kind of thing, very clearly delineating the two. But I don't know. I feel that there could have been a bit of. I think it's done better in the second film, which I know we'll talk about a little next. But the way they didn't find that balance as well in the first film.
Do you agree with that, Marco?
I disagree. First of all, what worked for me was Superman himself. I agree with everyone. Christopher Reeve, for me, was Superman for the longest time as a child. But I think the campiness does balance out. And I think Gene Hackman, it does a great job. It's hilarious to me. because he is in essence evil still. He does do evil shit. I mean, he wants to nuke parts of the United States. I mean, for one, that's treason. For another, like, he's gonna kill millions of people, and he's just like laughing about it. Basically, Otis worked for me, man. I like that guy, Mr. Luthor. I think he's hilarious.
He's just
and
he's a comedic relief. That's how I saw him.
Yeah, and speaking to what James was saying, like at the time, like comic book movies weren't really taken serious, so I think they were just trying to balance that out and trying to show like, look, this can be serious and goofy all at once, and it can work. And I think this movie did it well. And the comedy is for the comedy of the time and for the type of property it was, which is a comic book. And maybe they took it a little too literal, but I think that still works.
So yeah, Marco, I agree. Like, Christopher Reeve is that was kind of like the Superman I always thought about too. There wasn't a lot of Superman stuff growing up in the 90s. That's why, because I remember that's when his accident happened and kind of in limbo. We had a lot of Batman stuff going on. So it was kind of mainly Batman focused during that time period. What about characters? I just open it up for the floor with you guys. I know we've kind of already talked about it. For me, like I said, Christopher Reeve, Superman, he's great. I think he's great even as Clark Kent. He does it well where he is showing off like, oh, like he's a nerd, you know? And then when he transforms to Superman, it does feel like two characters to me. So that is one that's very good at portraying on screen, at least. I'm not the biggest Margot Kidder fan, honestly. I do like that in this film, she's kind of like the feisty Lois, where she's on top of getting the story. It's her work, and you know, everyone's like, she's the one that gets the story all the time, blah blah blah. But
I like the running joke that she can't spell. She's always asking Jimmy and stuff too, right?
That's hilarious. I agree.
Anybody else stand up to you guys? I know you guys talked about Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. I always enjoyed his performance too.
Yeah, I think he does a great job as the villain. Gene Hackman, you know, he adds charm to the character as well. Like he's a villain you love to hate, and I think he makes the movie entertaining with his just crazy plots of always trying to get real estate and trying to make his own country. I think it's hilarious when him and Otis are looking at the map and then he sees Otisville.
Yeah, he wrote it in. I think he's all right.
Yeah.
All right. It's not that big.
But I agree with Christopher Reeve as Superman. I think he sells the movie. Obviously he's the titular character, but it's this movie you make or break it with the main character. And I agree with James. Christopher Reeve even like practice slouching so that when he's Clark Kent, he, you know, looks more squeamish and smaller. And then he fixes his posture when he's Superman, and he can instantly switch between the two, and it's great, and it shows his talent. I like Margot Kidder's character. Her performance is good, but I agree with Mikey. Sometimes the screaming, it can get annoying. And I hate to say it, but sometimes the raspiness in her voice just gets to me. I just want to like be like, can you clear your throat a little bit, please?
Superman?
Just please clear it.
I hear what you guys are saying about Lois, but I do think that yes, she has that kind of feisty like reporter kind of thing, but she also has like a kind of a romance, like flirty when she's with Superman, like especially on the balcony scene. Really good chemistry between the two. Yeah, I just feel like she does have like a kind of a dual side to herself as well, almost like Christopher Reeve and his Clark and Superman.
So it's almost like she's not as like, okay, she comes off as this headstrong Superwoman, but then like deep down inside, she's still a romantic in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, that makes sense. What do you guys think about the overall look of the film?
I think it looked good. Even if it wasn't.
Is this your first time, guys, seeing the 4K?
Yeah, this is the first time I saw it in 4K.
Second time for me.
And I think it looks really well. I think the colors pop. I actually like the Superman suit. I know it's dated and, you know, with the material and everything, but it actually did work well for what it was. And even the effects for 1978 looked pretty decent. There's some campy weird things, but it's also of the time. But overall, I actually really liked how everything came together in the film and how it looks. It's just very, very bright and vivid, which I enjoyed, especially for the 70s, where a lot of films were like in that brown, grungy era, you know, where they kept things kind of sepia tone almost. So this looked really well put together.
I know they did a lot of wire work. You can kind of tell like how things were lifted and such, but a lot of the stuff was really smooth. Like it's the transition between like non-wire and just on the ground to like him flying around.
Bad, right?
They did a pretty good job with that stuff. And knowing that it's that old, I didn't expect it to be, you know, nowadays CGI kind of stuff. and it was pretty impressive, I thought, on some of the practical stuff they did back then.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I was gonna say. Is the effects in Superman still pretty much hold up? And Christopher Reeve, again, I know we keep tooting his horn, but he's the great and the GOAT, and he sold it really well. I read that he was a pilot, and that because he knew how planes turn, he utilized that in his movements with flying, and that made it more realistic. And the effects of when he does Superman stuff, like lifting the helicopter, the way they edit it looks really good, and the practical effects really hold up there.
Yeah. Any last thoughts, guys, before we rate it?
I think it's a good start to comic book superhero movies for kids. I think it's like really well balanced if you want to start. I mean, obviously we got Marvel now too, but I mean, if you want to show them like where comic book movies actually started to get inspiration from or look good, I think it's a solid start.
Yeah, I will always say the ending is always kind of the randoms. A lot of people, Nabil, I know you're kind of hinting at it.
Yeah.
The turning the planet back, a lot of people, a little
It
random.
was weird. And I understand.
is stupid.
I've read the story about that this wasn't the original ending, but it's what had to be from the studio. They needed to get the film finished, and they directed them to just say, get it done. And so Donner decided to go and just put this ending in this film. But yeah, it doesn't work at all. And Superman has a gajillion powers, and they're always being redefined. So technically, he can do anything at any time. But
Superman.
this wasn't it. Yeah,
I always looked at it, and this doesn't help at all because it's still stupid, but I always looked at it as he's not spinning the world backwards, but he's going back in time, and it's just representing time going backwards. But even that is dumb.
No.
As him having the power.
No. The dam reset itself. Yeah.
Way back in time.
Yeah. Oh no! Now he can save her, but then didn't all the other stuff happen? But now, okay, whatever.
selective.
Yeah, it's so
It's
bad.
one of those kind of things where like just let the movie happen.
Right.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Nabil, what's your rating, and would you recommend it?
Yeah, overall, I give it 3.5 stars. I think it was worth a watch and a good intro. And Christopher Reeve really is the selling point of this movie.
Nice, Marco. What about you?
I'll give it a solid 4 stars. I think it's still a great movie. Christopher Reeve is Superman.
What about you, Mikey? First time?
I give it 3.5. I liked the majority of the movie. Thought it was good. Don't really have anything bad to say about it other than the few small things I already did. So
Nice. I gave it 4 stars. I think Chris Reeve is one of my favorite Supermen. So it's got a lot of I got a lot of nostalgia for it. Like I said, I didn't watch it when I was very little, so I'm saw it as a young adult, but it stuck with me, and I've seen it probably 8-9 times at this point. All right, let's move on now to Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut.
Come to me, son of Jor-El! Kneel before Zod!
We will bring him to his knees.
Superman agrees to sacrifice his powers to start a relationship with Lois Lane, unaware that 3 Kryptonian criminals he inadvertently released are conquering Earth. Once again, directed by Richard Donner. This is written by Mario Puzo, David Newman, and Leslie Newman as well. This was actually released on November 28th, 2006 on home video, because this is the Donner cut, as I said we're talking about. A budget of $54 million. This stars everybody else from the last film except for Terrence Stamp as General Zod, even though he was technically in the movie. And we have Sarah Douglas as Ursa and Jack O'Halloran as Non. So I got to ask that. I know, Mikey, you already said that you've never seen these, so I'm definitely don't expect you to have randomly watched the Donner cut of the second film. That'd be weird, first off, if you had done that. Just out of curiosity, you're like, you know what? I'll check it out.
Well,
So-
actually, no, I haven't seen this one either. I kind of said it when I was talking about the other one, but yeah, I haven't seen this one, or I haven't seen the original version either. So I still haven't seen the original version because I didn't want to get them confused for the podcast.
Mhm.
So I'll probably end up watching it though after we're done here. So
Yeah, I mean, are you gonna jump into 3 and 4 too, just to complete it out?
yeah, I probably will.
Start with you then, Marco. When did you see the Donner cut of Superman 2?
I saw it a few years after it came out. I can't remember the specific year, but it's somewhere like, I want to say around 2000, between 2010 2015, around there. So not too far.
It's a
Off
bit of a
ago.
jump.
Yeah. I think
Let me give you this half decade of fucking
I-
years, either 2010 or 2015.
I
Pretty
know it
specific.
wasn't right when it came out because I couldn't find it, I think. So it's kind of
Okay.
hard for me to find. But I've seen this version specifically, I think only like 3 or 4 times.
Okay, what about you, Nabil?
I've seen this version 10, 11 times. I bought it like when it came out, maybe maybe within the same year, maybe the year after. But
I
it's
did too.
basically been my definitive version of the film ever since. And I've this is the one I've seen the most of the original Superman films. And just because it made me feel like this was much more of a grounded movie overall compared to the last one, and that's why I was like, hadn't seen the original one as much, but this one I owned it and I put it on repeat a lot for a good maybe year or two.
It's kind of weird, but okay.
It is weird.
So I got it on HD DVD actually when it first came out. I was a big Superman
nice.
Returns
Wow.
guy, and they both released about the same time on home video. So I remember it came out, it had like the black front with like the Superman thing, and I was like, I'm gonna buy it too. So I bought it in 2006. That's when I first saw it, and I never saw the original one before I saw this one, so this was always like my version of 2 that I always saw. And then because of this, that's when I went and saw like 3 and 4 and went down that rabbit hole. But what do you guys think of Superman 2? I'll start with you, Mikey. First time watch. It's pretty fresh. So this is all just a movie to you.
Yeah, and I like this one too. I thought it was good. I like that this kind of shows like Superman's human side. I know he kind of turns human in this one a little bit, but outside of that, it's like he wants to be human. He's kind of acting like he's a human, so he has those same kind of morals that a lot of us have. So it just kind of wrapped that up into a nice little package, and it was really just kind of refreshing, like the look on it. I've never really seen that aspect of like him giving his powers up. I thought that was a really cool kind of theme, and it worked well with how his mental is going for the whole the whole character as a whole. So I liked it.
Awesome. Nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it. What about you, Marco?
I really liked it too, man. Even from when I first saw it, I thought that the tone correction was really well. It still has some comedic aspects to it, but it does take itself a little bit more serious. Obviously, we're dealing with 3 superpowered beings from Krypton also, or sorry, how Krypton, as Jor-El says it.
Yeah.
But also, like, in addition to showing Superman's humanity, it shows that Superman has to face consequences too. Like in this version, the reason the 3 super beings are freed are because of Superman's actions, because of what he did. So
Yep.
in saving one group of people, he kind of dooms others because of his actions, and it shows that he has to be like aware of what he's doing, and I like that.
What about you, Nabil? I mean, apparently you've seen this like 900 times, so.
I saw it quite a few times. Yeah, I still think it's a great film. I like the story from start to finish. I think that the whole setup, when you're watching the first film and you get the introduction of Zod and like them going to jail, you don't realize, or being in prison, when you go into this film, you don't realize that they're rehashing it. So if you had never seen this film or never seen the first one, you could just watch this and think of its own thing. And that's how I kind of felt when I watched it the first time when I got it, was that it's really just, I know it's a continuation of the original, but it also could feel like it's just the origin story of the Superman film, and you just don't have to think about like him being in Smallville. I liked everything they kind of put together. I liked the struggles that he was going through, him giving up his powers. The battle scenes were really fun. I also think it's hilarious how short it was that it took him to give up his powers. In the one instance where he gets beaten up, he's like, I gotta get my powers back, guys. This
Well,
isn't working
he sees
out.
that. He sees the TV.
I know.
Motherfucker, relax.
He's
Sees
like,
the
I
White
can't be a
House.
bitch
I
right
always thought that
now.
was funny
Sorry.
how
The president's like,
short that
Superman,
was.
help us. He's like,
So,
I'm
but
getting tired of getting beat up already one time at a little diner.
And I also think like going into like the ending where he's outsmarting everybody. Like he knows he's not strong enough to fight 3 Kryptonians, but he's able to
Crips.
outsmart them and change up, their powers and say, well, you know what, I can do this, and then beat you with brute force. So it shows different layers of who Superman is rather than just the brute force and like I have unlimited power. So yeah, I like.
They don't play
everything
invisible
that
tag.
They don't.
I just love that the Zod and his crew look like they're part of like the Bee Gees or some kind of super group for the 70s.
I didn't know the circus was in town.
Yeah, Zod just got the chest hair out, and I mean, I
Looking
love
good.
his kneel before Zod lines, stuff like that. Up until this point, as a kid, when I'd seen this eventually, the only time I'd seen Terrence Stamp was Chancellor Valorum in Star Wars Episode 1 and Phantom Menace. So I didn't realize the implications I was getting to watching this. Like, wait a minute, that's not his most popular role. I like the fighting. This is the campier of the 2 films to me, though. Honestly,
Really?
the way that the fight scenes happen, and it's especially the original cut, as Marco knows.
The original cut is different. Yeah, that's not. as well put
It
together.
is, but I mean, it's still not a bad film in my opinion. This one is a little bit more, like they said, like Richard Donner's vision of it all. So it's really nice that he got to go back eventually after the popularity of Superman Returns to fix it up, because then people have been talking about it. And it, overall, good film. I think definitely some characters take a step back though. Like I don't think Gene Hackman is as much as a threat in this one. I know he teams up with him and he's just being kind of a mischievous guy, but he was more of the direct main bad guy in the first one. In this one, he's more like a supporting antagonist, is how I kind of view it, at least. But
No, always
that tracks.
teasing things out to say like, "Oh, I've always got something here to help push him forward and be relevant before they try to kill him."
yeah, but they're all like about to turn on him too. They're like, kill him.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa,
Well-
wait up.
He's more of like an opportunist in this one, right? Like he's
Yeah,
just
he
trying to
sees
find a
his
way
chance.
for surviving. Yeah.
Yep, he sees his chance, and then he went to the Fortress of Solitude and saw some stuff. So
Yeah.
like that, or like where he's casually just sitting on a cabinet at the Daily Planet, just leading. You're like, oh hey there, like a lazy old cat. Oh hey, I guess I'll just wait it out too. I do like the fight scene of the Marlboro Red truck. Made me super want to smoke cigarettes, so it worked.
Good.
That's
A
what I
lot of
think
product
really,
placement in this one.
Yeah.
really works with this one is it's more
Cigarettes?
special effects. No, yeah, it's more special effects heavy. You see like more super fights, I guess. More comic book
Yeah,
fights.
where
I
Non
like
has his
that.
face like this.
he can't do it. But I see why he added the comedic factor because of the fact that these guys are more threatening and can do evil things that Superman can do.
They're
they-
like
they
evil
can-
version of Superman, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Ford
I mean,
created the evil version of Superman in the next two films.
Yeah. So it's understandable. What I don't think worked really was at the beginning when Lois Lane was trying to prove that Clark Kent is Superman,
I hate that part. Yeah,
and she
Oh, yeah.
jumps, and I'm like, no way, dude. Okay.
she does it
All
twice,
right.
by
I
the
like
way.
that.
I don't know if that's
I thought it
because
was
the
good.
Donner cut kind of added that scene back. She jumps from there,
Yeah.
and then she jumps in the
And then she
Niagara
decides to
Falls.
shoot him.
Oh, I know. Yeah, never mind. It's a kid
No,
that falls.
no.
Yeah.
The kid
In
falls
the
in there.
original, it's only
You
one
guys
time.
I always notice that scene
Yeah.
that they added it because his fucking hair changes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's from a test screening, so his hair is constantly changing from like poofy to wet to poofy to wet, and I always notice it. That's the
I like
one
how-
scene I always remember.
How quickly he flexes after he gets shot. Like he just squares up right after he
He's
gets
like,
shot.
all right, you got me, Lois. But what about it? She's like, it's a blink. He's like, you fucking bitch. And I agree with Nabil. I like that ending scene where he's like, "What you know what he's doing when he's
Right.
just like,
Yeah, at
don't
this
tell
point, yeah.
don't tell him anything, Luther. That'd be crazy."
I like that scene too.
He looks back and he's like, "Oh, this,
snake.
I do think he dispatches him pretty goddamn quick though.
Oh, like it was nothing. But I mean,
After
like,
that, that he's like, now I'll throw
What
you
else
into
is
the
he gonna do?
abyss.
yeah, it just kills them all.
They're like, whoa.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
like,
kind
"They
of
alive
to
still there?"
what you were saying. They could overpower him easily. So it's like once you have that chance, you gotta like ace him quick.
Yeah, especially the non.
Dude, he's the one that gets the the cellophane super shield in the original
The
too.
original one. Yeah.
Dude, I love that scene. And he's like
The
going like,
cellophane? It's like, what the heck? What happened?
all right, guys, what do you guys give Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut? I'll start with you, Marco.
I give this one. I still give it 4 stars. I think it's still the essence of Superman. I think that they do a good job with the balancing of the comedic elements and the serious tones. Even though I disagree with some of the scenes, I think overall it's a pretty cool film.
What about you, Nabil?
I gave this 4.5 stars. I still enjoy watching this film and like going back to it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you've seen it 962 times. What about you, Mikey?
I give it 3.5. I liked it as much as the first one, although it feels a little different. So I can't really do better or worse than that one. I just feel about the same about it.
I'm not as big as a fan on this one as you guys. I'll give it a 3. So, not my favorite Superman film. I think they just, I don't know. I think overall, though, even though I think this is a good version of the movie, I don't think Superman 2 is like the greatest. They really should have just tacked this on to the first film and made it less one like story, like kind of Nabil was saying, honestly.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel like Superman should have been. All right, let's move on now to Superman Returns.
I know some people are asking a lot of questions now that I'm back. I think it's only fair that I answer those people.
Well, you're back. And everyone seems to be pretty happy about it.
Not everyone.
Lex Luthor.
Imagine cities, entire continents, all grown. To think that one could create a new world with such a simple little object.
Sitting at a 72% on Rotten Tomatoes, Superman returns to Earth after spending 5 years in space examining his home world, Krypton, but he finds things have changed while he was gone, and he must once again prove himself important to the world. Directed by Bryan Singer, who did The Usual Suspects, X-Men, X-Men 2, and X-Men Days of Future Past. Written by Michael Dougherty, who also wrote X-Men 2 and Trick or Treat and Krampus, as well as Dan Harris, who did X-Men 2, Until Death, and X-Men Apocalypse. Released on June 28th, 2006, with a budget of $223 million. This had a box office of $391.1 million. This stars, so we got some new characters here, or new actors and actresses. Brandon Routh as Clark Kent, Superman. Kate Bosworth as Lois Lane. James Marsden as Richard White. Frank Langella as Perry White. Parker Posey as Kitty Kowalski. Cal Penn as Stanford. Sam Huntington as Jimmy Olsen. Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor, and Tristan Lake LeBeau as Jason White. So, just as a heads up, this is a somewhat sequel to the first two Superman films. It's like a light sequel reboot. He's supposed to be kind of the same character, roughly. Not everything obviously lines up, but it's one of those things where you just kind of roll with it. Let's start with you, Marco, first. What's your history with Superman Returns from 2006?
I saw it in theaters, and this is not a joke. I was there. I saw it when it premiered.
2006. Yeah, you were.
I was already 59.
Straight from the coal mines came out for the board. There's a new Superman. I guess we'll check it out together.
Yeah, I've seen this one a few times, man. I think I saw it like more than once in theaters, and then I bought the DVD and would watch it quite a few times. So, yeah, pretty familiar with it.
What about you, Mikey?
I've actually seen this one before. Before we did this, I've only seen it a couple times though. So I saw it once in theaters. I've seen it a couple times since then, but only a few times, about 3 or 4, maybe.
Okay. What about you, Nabil?
About the same as Mikey. I saw it in theaters, and then I watched it a few times at home. I know I owned it at one point.
Yeah, I mean, I got this on HD DVD back in the day.
He was all
Warner
in,
Brothers,
boys.
Warner Brothers was
HD
exclusive
DVD.
with HD DVD, so I was like, I've got the Supermans.
Fixing those HD DVDs.
Yeah. So I saw this in theaters. I want to say this is one of the last movies I saw before my brother died. So there's that. And then on top of that, I remember I got really into this movie. I really enjoyed it at the time. I even played the video game that came out on Xbox 360. And it's just, I mean, maybe I was just desperate for superhero shit back then.
Yeah.
Because I think maybe more, there's probably a couple Marvel films that have come out like, these are terrible. So like X3 had just come out, I think, the same year, right? Or
Yeah.
year prior, and I was trying to get that out of my mouth. And then we thought Spider-Man 3 was going to be good. And then I was like, oh, no. Although in hindsight now, I'm like, it's all right. You know, there's parts of it that I enjoy, but okay. All right, so let's get into the plot then. Like, what do you think overall? Let's start with you. Back to you, Mark. I want to know, because, I mean, that's cool. I think we all probably saw it in theaters. There was a lot of hype in this movie, I remember.
Yeah.
Coming out, because this is the first Superman movie in like a long time, live action at least. So what did you think of rewatching Superman Returns? Has it been a while since you saw it?
Yeah, it's been quite a while since I've seen it. I was super hyped at the beginning when it first came out because, you know, it was a direct sequel to the original 2, excluding 3 and 4.
I don't know if
Looking
I
at it
knew that
now-
when I saw that, though, by the way.
I remember reading it in an article, and it's crazy that it's a sequel to the Donner Cut because the Fortress of Solitude gets destroyed there, and then it exists in this one. Whatever.
It's not
Anyway.
a sequel to the Donner Cut. It's a sequel to the original, too.
Yeah.
Remember? Donner Cut
Oh,
didn't
that's
come
right.
out.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a sequel to the original.
Yeah.
So that means he threw the
Oh,
S in that one.
that makes more sense. Yeah.
He threw the S
So
in
that
that
means
one.
that the cellophane thing was
Yeah,
canon.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
You know, it's on.
So, looking at it now, it was okay, man. I thought it was mid. You know, I think because of a lot of that has to do with now with superheroes movies being or expected to be so grandiose, and we have all these visual effects we can use, and this movie in my mind at least was supposed to be that, but it feels very mid, and like they just really held back and grounded it a little bit too much, like the first two. But the first two we had limitations because of technology, and this one we don't really. So I felt that it was entertaining.
2006 eras.
Yeah.
Now there are some dated visuals, I'll say. But at the time, I remember these looked really good.
Yeah, it was entertaining. It was still fun, but I felt like it left me wanting more. Like I wanted more.
The sequel that they were gonna make, but they didn't make. I know, me too.
Yeah,
would have been Brainiac, son of a bitch.
I know, right?
Yeah, I agree with you, Marco. I'm gonna cut ahead a little bit. I think I really used to like it a lot, but nowadays it's just one of those things that is trying too hard to connect to previous films. I think where it's like, oh look, it's got like a lot of throwbacks to things, and I don't like the look of this film either. It's really dark the whole time.
Yeah,
like it's
not as bright
bleak.
as the other films.
No, really bleak colors, really drab. It's like, damn, dude.
It looks normal. It looks too normal.
Almost,
rather than a superhero film. Like it
doesn't really stick out. Nothing really sticks out. And I think, although there are some people in the cast I do like, I think Brandon Routh is just kind of like very like their kind of guy. I don't know if maybe if he had another movie or two, he would have developed the character a little better. Mm-hmm. But he definitely had the look, though. Don't get me wrong. Like he looks like Christopher Reeve, which is pretty cool. But acting wise, I know he kind of redeemed himself doing the CW stuff, and he did some more roles after that. But it just doesn't quite work for me. What about you, Mikey?
Yeah, I thought this one was just okay. It didn't blow me away. I remember liking this one a lot when I saw it in theaters, and a couple of times I've seen it. I remember liking it, but this time it didn't really do anything for me. Like I like the action sequences, like the bullet to the eye kind of thing, and when he's saving the airplane, those are really done well.
I will say, Mikey, it is cool to see. This is the first time that it was like a modern Superman where you see him going like hitting like a Mach speed. And then doing certain flying. I think the flying is the first time that it looks actually really good.
Yeah, I also think Lex Luthor's really done well in this one.
I know, he's actually not about Kevin Spacey anymore, but I mean, yeah, I agree.
No, yeah, but he's actually sinister. He's actually evil. I think Gene Hackman's version, yes, he's doing evil things. He's doing bad things, but this one he actually portrays an evil person, in my opinion. So
I agree too.
Overall, it's just okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
What about you, Nibble?
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything you guys are saying. It's darker. It seems like everybody's kind of very well. The tone is sadder. Everybody's just kind of upset. It looks like it's gonna rain at any minute. So,
dude, it does. That's what you know. What that's what it is. The whole movie is overcast in a sunny day.
On a sunny day, it just looks like it's gonna rain. Brandon Routh was fine. I mean, he does, like you said, he looks the part, but I don't. Especially watching Christopher Reeve just recently from the previous film. He just doesn't have that same charisma as the Clark Kent and the Superman. It's just not.
But that's what I'm also saying, though. Maybe he could have eventually, but we only got one with him.
Maybe he grew into it. Yeah, definitely. I also think that the best scene in the film was that early on, the airplane scene, and then after that, everything is just kind of like, okay, like I didn't feel the emotion of him lifting up the island or whatever it is. I know it's supposed to compare it to like what we'll see in Man of Steel, but him kind of like pushing through something and overcoming. Like I was like, cool. Toss it, get rid of it. Wonderful,
throw it to the sun.
Yeah. So I feel like there wasn't a lot pushing the movie forward, the whole Superman forward, and like me wanting to see more of it. I also think that Kevin Spacey, while being there, is fine as a Lex Luthor, but as far as, again, going back to like charisma, as much as I didn't like the campiness of the original films, I liked Gene Hackman and what he was doing with the role, and like him. Like you were saying, James, like he's going in leaning all in the villain thing. At least he was doing that. But Kevin Spacey is just playing kind of like a bad Kevin Spacey, which, if we look into the future,
I won't lie, man. I actually think Kevin Spacey is the best thing in this movie.
I mean, like compared to everybody else, for sure.
He's a scene stealer for me. Every time he's on scene, I'd actually prefer him than everyone else.
It's his talent, as an actor. We're only looking at this artistically. Everything else aside, his performance.
I won't lie, Marco. I love K-Pax.
You know what? It's a solid fucking movie. Okay,
it's a good movie.
Hey, I've got to 7. Okay,
I love that movie. I saw it in high school and I cried.
Jesus Christ! I saw 7 many times in theaters. I think really him and even Brandon Routh with what he does, I think are the best two things of this movie character wise. Truthfully, I think the worst thing in the characters really is Lois Lane. I cannot stand Kate Bosworth.
Kate Bosworth.
She is just so like single tone.
You know what's
just
crazy?
No emotion.
It's because she was like really young when she shot this too. By the way, she's only like 21, and everybody was like, "This don't really add up." Like if you look at it, yeah,
she just has no ownership of the character. Take Margot Robbie, who owns the character. I mean, I'm sorry, Margot Kidder. Sorry. It's the Margos.
Like, yeah, I was like, not
Margot Kidder.
No.
Yeah,
different universe.
She owns the character. She's a go-getter. you know what her character is. This one, night and day. I'm like, what happened to that Lois? The only thing that she keeps the same is that she can't spell. That's it. Everything else is just gone.
The cigarettes too, Marco. What do you?
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. Her fierceness, though, her bite is gone, and I guess you could attribute that to her being a mother in this, but still, like,
I almost once again, like, do you think she might have developed it better in the second movie? Maybe.
I don't know. Lastly, it was just the fact that as much as I like Kevin Spacey's performance as Lex Luthor, I think Lex Luthor in this movie is what held it down. They should have just gone with Brainiac from the get-go.
Yeah, but they not when they were redoing it in 2006. I know why they didn't do it.
Or we're like, why do you have Cal Penn in there? You have a name in there, and it's like, for what?
Well,
I don't even think
he
he had a line.
He had cut scenes. That's why he was supposed to be the guy where had worked at the planet before and faked the news about the Krypton planet. So that's why Superman left.
That's why
and
Superman
he got
left.
fired for it. And then he's like a disgraced reporter, but they cut the whole plot line. He had a lot more scenes, so that's why.
He probably had some lines in that cut too, because I think he only says one thing. That's it.
I think he says one thing. Yeah,
I think it's yeah. He said we made a tube. I mean, he beats up Superman at one point. It's kind of weird.
It was weird. I felt bad watching him beat him up.
I like Franklin Gello, by the way, it's Perry White.
Oh, he was good. Yeah,
he's a good actor.
He was good. Yeah,
just
the great.
I actually like his iteration of him. It's kind of like, why are we all standing around here? Superman's back. And honestly, the kid that plays fucking Jimmy Olsen, I always liked Sam Huntington back then. He's like done not very much since then. Pretty good Jimmy Olsen. I won't lie. So
yeah, actually, I kind of agree with that too.
That kid is always
underutilized.
He was in this Star Wars movie where they were taking their friend to go see Episode 1. Once again, we're going back to Phantom Menace. Look at this. It's called Fanboys, and he's like really good in that movie.
Such a good movie.
So that's where I always remember him from. I remember he got cast in this movie right after that, had like been in production hell for like 5 years. So it was kind of nice to see him. Would you guys have wanted to see more films in this franchise?
I'd say yes. I think Roth didn't do much in this movie. Like, he didn't even talk that much, really, to be honest. But I think, like you guys said, he kind of had the look of Reeve, and he could have done more with a better story, a better lines
better
that he had.
Better script.
Yeah, better script overall. Yeah,
I think it just feels like they were playing it too safe with this one as a sort of requel
starter
time.
Yeah, I agree.
And I, at the time, and even looking back, watching it here with all my criticisms, I was still curious. I was like, I wanted to see where this Superman would have gone, especially with him having a son in this universe. They've never done that in a movie. I thought that aspect and going that route was really good. And then they could have gone from there, and
they've obviously explored it out more in like the shows and such like that. But
yeah,
it would have been kind of cool because especially at the end, I thought that was a very touching moment where he's saying the stuff that Jor-El told him to his son. I really like that moment actually. That's probably one of the look, Brandon Roth can act. Let him talk a little more.
I'd probably want to see that explored more if there was going to ever be anything more from that at that point. But from a story perspective and what that Superman was, I don't know. Like you're saying, James, if maybe there was more time, the actors would lean more into the role, but I don't know if I'd want to see this iteration of the characters continue on. So
I feel like you would have watched it.
I mean, would I have watched it? Of course I would have watched it, man.
Stop lying then, Nabil. What are you lying about?
Superman.
Let's get some ratings here, guys. Would you recommend it? Let's start with you first, Mikey. Let's throw a curveball here.
I give this one a 3. I mean, it's okay. It has some cool scenes, some good acting here and there. So overall, it was decent.
What about you, Nabil? What do you give Superman Returns?
I gave it also 3 stars. It was mid for me.
Okay. What about you, Marco?
I'm with these guys. It's a 3-star. I still hold a little
because Mikey made me smile.
I still hold some nostalgia to it because it was one of the first new Superman movies that I saw in theaters, and it was cool to kind of see the quote unquote Reeves Superman come back. So I still give it a 3. I think if you're curious, you can put it on the background and check it out.
I actually gave this one a 3 as well. Just as good as Superman 2 for me, man. It's just really kind of like okay. I think they're all right. Not my favorite. There's moments of it where I really like, but there's most of it like nowadays I watch it. I rated it probably higher when I saw it like 2 years ago because I was on this huge Superman hype and watching like all fucking 6 movies.
All right.
But now I rewatch it and I'm like, this was kind of boring to me. But still, there's enough there that I think it's worth a watch. 3 means, I'll watch it again. Let's move on now to Man of Steel.
And even if it takes the rest of your life, you owe it to yourself to find out what that reason is.
How do you find someone who has spent a lifetime covering his tracks? For some, he was a guardian angel. For others, a ghost who never quite fit in.
Sitting at a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes, an alien child is evacuated from his dying world and sent to Earth to live among humans. His peace is threatened when other survivors of his home planet invade Earth. Directed by Zack Snyder, directed Dawn of the Dead, 300, Watchmen, and Sucker Punch. Written by David S. Goyer, who wrote Dark City, Blade, Batman Begins, Jumper, and The Dark Knight. This was released on June 14th, 2013. A budget of $258 million. It had a box office of $670.1 million. This stars Henry Cavill as Kal-El, Clark Kent, Superman. Amy Adams as Lois Lane. Michael Shannon as General Zod. Kevin Costner as Jonathan Kent. Diane Lane as Martha Kent. Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White. Antje Drow as Faru. And Russell Crowe as Jor-El. Let's start off with Nabil. What's your history with Man of Steel?
Saw it in theaters? Did we see it in theaters together?
I'm pretty sure we saw this together.
I think we saw it together. Yeah.
I'm almost certain.
Multiple repeats at home. Have the Blu-ray, not the HD DVD.
Nope,
the Blu-ray.
It's too late for that one.
Yeah, too late.
I have the 4K of this one.
But yeah, I've seen it a few times, and I love Henry Cavill as Clark Kent Superman.
Okay, put your shirt back on, Bill. That's fine. Marco, what about you?
Saw this one opening night. Saw it multiple times in theaters. Yeah, I've seen it quite a few times. Owned it on Blu-ray. Now own it on digital.
Alrighty. What about you, Mikey?
This one's similar to the last one. I've seen it in theaters. I've seen it a few times afterwards, but I haven't seen it too much. So just a couple of viewings here and there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've seen it a few times. I saw it probably with Nabil, like I said. What do you think of the movie, though? Let's start with you, Nabil. What do you think of Man of Steel?
I love this film for a very long time. I think that there was always... I think I liked it more because there's a lot more potential in this franchise. When it first came out, I was like, oh my gosh, they can do so much more with this. And so I was always more hyped about it. Watching it now, I still enjoy the film, but definitely knowing where everything panned out, was a bit more disappointed that this film never got a sequel. So, like, I like Henry Cavill. I like Amy Adams. I think General Zod, Michael Shannon, does great. I know a lot of people feel like he hammed it up, but I really enjoyed him as Zod. And then, it's nice to see Kevin Costner. This is when he was starting to come back. So I was like, hey, he could be everybody's dad. Let's see what he does here and take care of America's dad. It was good. I enjoyed the film, and it still holds up, although it does have that dark sheen of, like, everything's a little sad, but there was charisma. Basically. Yeah, Zack Snyder's whole thing is like, we need to be brooding, but there was of his films, I feel like this was the only one that had like a little bit of hope. You have Superman and they're saying things could get better, but then it again, history. Zack Snyder
like,
makes sure that
Martian Manhunter. What about you,
We
Marco?
don't know that yet.
Shut up, Nabil. We'll find out in 12 years.
Right. So
Even knowing now this franchise is dead, I still love the movie, man. I think that opening sequence, is still one of the best opening sequence to a superhero movie that I've seen. It's just so epic and grandiose. This is one of the first like Superman movies that actually felt large, like a Superman movie, like it's supposed to look, big and epic in scale. I liked Henry Cavill's Superman. I think he has the look for it. His take on it is a little different. I get it. He's a little more serious. He's a little more stoic and, not happy-go-lucky, smiling all the time, though. I thought that it was a nice, interesting, new take on Superman for the time that it exists.
Okay. Mikey, what about you?
I like this one. It's just Zack Snyder, right? It's got super good visuals. Storyline it's decent. It's not terrible. Michael Shannon's over the top, but it just works for me. And I just
when you
like
hear
the
about
way
his
it looks.
behind the scenes stuff too, you realize like, oh, he just doesn't give a shit. Okay,
he doesn't care.
It's fine though. It works for me though. I don't
find him.
Let me get in my penis pod.
It's just a visual thing for me.
Yeah,
it just
looks
works.
good.
It looks like a comic book, but look a little darker, like Nabil was saying here. So it just has that Zack Snyder look, and it just works for me. The characters, yes, there could be a little bit better overall, but it didn't bother me. It was enough for me to like each of the characters that are playing there. I don't know. I like villains that are kind of crazy anyways, that are kind of like just evil and mean. And this one just came off that way.
This is a movie that I really liked when it first came out, but every viewing now, I think I'm almost with Nabil, like just because I'm so disappointed with where it went to. Like it has made my viewings lesser and lesser. Like I just don't care anymore. unfortunately, which sucks because when I first saw this, it's funny because like I have reviews for when I first saw this. I was like, "This is the best Superman movie ever!"
Yeah.
And then now every like one's like, "It was all right." And he's like, "Oh, it's getting kind of it's kind of getting along with the tooth." But like I like Henry Cavill. I wish we could have gotten a lot more of him in this. Like you're gonna hear that a lot for these kind of reviews for this. I like Kevin Costner too. I don't always agree with what he does in this film. I always kind of felt like his Jonathan Kent is a different kind of version, but I mean I get why he says it. Like don't get me wrong. I mean I'd probably tell my kid to save a bus full of kids, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Michael Shannon I think is campy as fuck, but also so was Terrence Stamp, you know what I mean? Just minus the chest hair. So I don't mind it. But like I said, when you find out like he just didn't really know what was even going on half the time when he filmed this fucking movie, and he's just like, I don't fucking know. Like, okay, cool. Like I like Michael Shannon. I think the weakest point probably is Lois Lane too again. She does not have a lot to do in this movie. Amy Adams, unfortunately. And that I feel like that's always been kind of the weakness of Lois Lane. Like they was like trying to balance out like the damsel in distress with her being just a main like an overall character. And I think this one they kind of lean really hard in. She's got some of the cringiest fucking dialogue in the beginning where she's just trying to like tout about how she's been on like battlefields and all this bullshit.
Yeah, a lot of exposition from her part.
It's
That's
like-
true.
Yeah.
But I do like that she's the one that finds like Superman, and kind of when no one else could, it kind of shows that she's actually pretty good at her job.
She
as opposed
stepped
to-
outside with a pair of binoculars.
Right.
I know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
A random
she's
guy
like-
walking.
Found you.
No, but I mean, she had been following him for a while and following like the leads and stuff on this like mysterious guy and stuff. So
I guess, but outside of that, then she kind of just, all right, now we got your plot out of the way. Let's get Superman back in this movie.
basically. But yeah,
I can see that.
although Lois' character is weak, I do like Amy Adams' performance as Lois, even though her lines are shitty. She does well with what she has for the most part. I do like her a lot better than the previous Lois.
Yeah, no, she's better
it's
than
a
that,
breath
but
of fresh air.
for me, though, it's like a 3 and a 4. Like, it ain't. I'm like,
I think it's a notch up. Her chemistry with Superman, I think, is a lot better in this one, even though it felt rushed in this one.
it feels really
I still
rushed to me in this one. It's like, that's the problem with Zack Snyder. I think he throws a lot,
Yeah.
like in a very short time period where it's like, yeah, let this breathe a little, man.
Yeah, Russell
That's why-
Crowe worked for me as Jor-El.
Yeah, I like
though.
Russell
think
Crowe.
he was great, and I
He's a solid
think
Crowe.
the contrast between him and Pa Kent was being like more protective and holding Superman down
cautious.
unintentionally, and it's his dad from his biological father who says no, rise up and be a hero, and I kind of like that dynamic, even though it was probably could have been done a little bit better.
I just like his scene. Is it quoted from Marco? No.
Yeah.
There's a lot of memes
I
use
fucking
for this
love
movie.
that meme, dude.
Oh, okay. Bye, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm back to get the dog. I said, damn.
He
son
made
of a
the ultimate
bitch.
sacrifice.
I mean, we kind of talked about it. Did you like the darker tone, Mikey?
Yeah, it didn't bother me. I mean, it's kind of like his signature, right? So I kind of expected it to be that way, just knowing like who's making it. But yeah, it didn't bother me like it did the other one. The other one, it kind of didn't feel right. This one, it didn't feel that
The
bad.
other one's like very muted, I would say. And you get to this one, it's just a dark overall tone.
That's a good way to frame it. Yeah.
Probably way to think about it, right? So, what about action-wise, Nabil?
I think your point earlier about like Zack Snyder kind of ramping things up. Like, I think that's the problem with this film is that it doesn't breathe, right? You start at the beginning, there's a lot of action. Then it does have a little bit of a lull with small
It's a
sprinkle of
little, you know
action.
what? I didn't notice it until this viewing that it's a little bit of a slower startup because whenever they start doing flashbacks, I was like, fuck, come on, man. I don't lie, guys. I knocked out during this one. This time. This is the only one I knocked out during.
But as
Like,
soon
for
as
a-
he gets
for a
arrested,
fucking while, I woke up and I was like, he got arrested. I said, all right, let's see what happens there.
as soon as that scene happens, though, and he gets, he's on
From
the
that
ship
point
with Zod,
forward, it's pretty
It's
intense.
just straight action the whole time, like through the
Yeah.
end. So, like that, I think is
This is when they
like-
started bringing the whole like laser destroying the planet thing, man.
right, right.
Like,
terraforming?
Bet you never seen this shit before. Like, actually,
The
we've seen it in
world
9 other
changed it up for you.
9 other movies, but okay.
Visually, though, it's good. There's a lot of tension there. Like I was sold into it. This is where I was talking about before, where in the Superman Returns, where Brandon Routh's Superman is pushing up the island to push it off, and he's getting destroyed by the kryptonite, and he's like,
Superman
I don't know if
scene.
I'm going to make you guys. Yeah, that Superman scene. I didn't feel as impactful as where I saw this scene where Henry Cavill's in the world engine trying to aim up. I'm like, you can do it, Superman. Just push harder. Like
I felt like that
imagine
part
feel
just
it in
goes
this
on
one.
really long though.
It is long.
They do all that. You go
Watching
through
it
all this
again
stuff.
now,
People,
yeah.
ships going down, this, that, and then he still has a fucking like 20-minute fight with Zod at the end. I'm like, God damn, I forgot how long this movie was.
It just keeps going. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no breath after he gets arrested.
That was hilarious.
just
The one
goes
bitch
through.
gets out. She's like, he saved us. I'm like, bitch, your house is gone.
I never noticed it
Bitch, do you
until
live in
we
the
talked.
apocalypse now? I don't know where the hell you are, but sorry.
Until like after the film came out, there was a lot of online stuff about how the whole Metropolis was destroyed, and I started thinking about it. It's like, yeah, he destroys the whole city. Him and Zod, like, he doesn't save anybody. He's just they're just
He
fighting
saved
the whole time.
world. Though he said that engine was going to destroy not just Metropolis,
Sure,
but the
but
whole
Metropolis is gone, and so many people died, and he saves like a small family to try to make sure Zod doesn't murder them with his laser eyes or whatever. I'm like, I remember it was such a controversy that he kills, and like watching these other films, like Superman's killed a few times before.
Yeah,
Like,
he
what
killed
was
all
the
three
thing
of the
here?
people.
Yeah, he killed the other guys earlier. Like,
I think it's more or less like how he does it, though, right? This is
Yeah,
probably one of the more like brutal ways of doing it. I would
it's
say.
all kind of like, not happenstance, but
Yeah,
also
this is kind of really like Anakin started chopping off heads off too. You know,
Yeah, in
And
the
then he
comics, it was
started- he
Supergirl
started
that
kinda
snaps his neck
liking it.
too.
yeah.
Yeah. So
But the action scenes were well done. Like what we saw, it's very Zack Snyder, so it looks good and very fantastical. So
yeah. What about the ending overall? Yeah. He kills Zod.
it gives you hope, right? Like that's the whole thing. It's like I want to see where it's gonna go. And
I don't know how he went back to the Daily Planet though. I was like, is this 7 years later? I don't.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, did they rebuild everything? Because that shit
That
looked
was-
like it was falling apart.
Yeah, they
No,
went
it's-
back
it's
the next
building 2
like
Yeah.
next
later,
day.
deeper in the city.
I'm like,
Yeah,
was that the docks or something?
It's their offsite location.
I think
Jurassic
their
Park?
building was safe for the sake of the script.
Yeah, I guess.
then-
Because I was like, wait, didn't they evacuate?
No, yeah, I thought the building they were going to get crushed under was the Daily
Was the
Planet.
Daily Planet?
And then I was
That's what I
like,
was
is that,
thinking.
oh, that's a different building then. I was like, oh, all right, I guess.
Yeah,
Sure.
I
Let
could
the
see that
movie
too.
happen.
Yeah, let's just let it
The
happen.
movie
That's what I was like. Shh, it's okay. They'd be cleaning up broken cars and glass for fucking months after that.
Years.
Yeah, probably years. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
Probably.
They were literally reconstructing a whole city, like skyscrapers and all. Maybe Superman helped. Who knows?
No, he's like, that's your problem. Later, guys, as he flew away. Let's get any other final thoughts, by the way?
Just we didn't really talk about theme songs, but the theme song for this one, they don't use the original one from the original Superman, but I
pretty
liked
solid.
it.
Yeah,
I like
good.
it.
Yeah.
It's memorable.
a good theme.
So, anyways, let's get into overall ratings. If you guys recommend this one, let's start with you, Nabil.
Yeah, I rated 3.5 stars. It's kind of like you said, James. It's waned over time. I still like the film as a whole, but it's not as good, especially watching. I mean, I like the second Superman 2 with the Richard Donner cut, but it's not as fun as the other ones.
Yeah, I get it. Marco?
I still give this one a 4 too. I think it's entertaining. It's a product of a time, something that will never be again.
Probably not. Mikey, what about you?
I gave it 3.5, and I am waiting for the resurgence of the Snyderverse. So
Hashtag release the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. I just fucking want to see all the Joker shades. Yeah, I give this one 3 stars as well, guys. It's just the same as Superman Returns, Superman 2 for me. I'll watch it again eventually one day, but I'm not in any rush. It's like I said, I think it's really like I used to rate this pretty high, but it's just because this franchise was really mishandled for the last like 12 years, in my opinion. So it's really sad because like this could have been. I was excited. I wanted a Man of Steel sequel, and when they were like, "Oh, they're gonna do it," I was like, "Nice, let's like get the fucking shit back on, right?" And then
psych.
Apparently, someone told Henry Cavill a little too soon. Maybe you didn't need to leave The Witcher after all. So let's move on now to our review, our main review now of Superman 2025.
You were out there helping them?
I thought I was.
They've always been wrong about me. I get scared, but that is being human. And that's my greatest strength.
Sitting at 83% of Rotten Tomatoes, Superman must reconcile his alien Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing as reporter Clark Kent. As embodiment of truth, justice, and the human way, he soon finds himself in a world that view these as old-fashioned. Written and directed by James Gunn. Did all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Suicide Squad in 2021. After you got canceled for a little bit.
The Suicide Squad.
Peacemaker 2022.
What a joke.
Released on June 11th, 2025. Budget $225 million. I think it's sitting somewhere at 220 right now. Starring David Cornsweet as Clark Kent, Superman. Richard Brosnan as Lois Lane. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific. Anthony Kerrigan as Metamorpho. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl. Skylar Gisondo as Jimmy Olsen. Sarah Sampaio as Eve Tessmacher. And Wendell Pierce as Perry White. All right, guys. What's your thoughts of this one? I was going to start with you, Nabil.
It's fun and it's bright, and I like the dynamic between Lois and Clark, and Crypto is way better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be way more annoying in the trailer, but from the trailer. But
What
watching
mean you
him
think
in
all
this,
dogs are annoying, Nabil?
I mean, I don't own any, so I'm
You
a cat
remind me
guy,
of
I guess.
Bailey quite a bit.
Did he really?
A little too much.
He's like, God damn it, he's so cute, but also listen to
I
me.
was like, hey, relax. Marco, what about you? What'd you think of Superman?
I actually love this movie, man. I thought it was fun, entertaining, grandiose. I thought David Cornsweet really, truly embodied Superman, and it's probably the best comic book interpretation of Superman I've seen on screen.
Oh, nice. Nabil's predictions were correct. Mikey, what about you?
I also love this movie, and I think it's the best Superman that's ever been released so far. I haven't seen them all, obviously, but I like this movie a lot.
You haven't seen 3 yet. Relax.
Or 4.
It's fine.
I'll
Or
update
the-
you.
The quest for peace.
Yeah,
The
sorry,
quest
I
for
mean,
peace.
yeah. You don't know about Atomic Man, so why don't you shut your fucking mouth?
Nuclear Man.
No, sorry, Nuclear Man.
But yeah, no, I really like this movie. I've seen it twice in the theaters. I'm probably going to see it one more time with some other people in my family here. So yeah, it's just really good. I like every aspect of it. The new characters that I didn't really have an idea who they were because I didn't really follow them with the Justice Gang and such. So I liked everybody that they brought in, and what they did with all the characters just felt good. And I hope that the next movies in the line are kind of following this kind of same look and feel. And I think it'll be a good series, good phase for
Every movie
DC.
will have a different feel and look to it, Mikey. Just let you know.
Yeah.
So they're
No,
not.
I just
all
meant like the
gonna
vibes,
be
right? Like
this.
not necessarily the look and everything like that.
Even the
you know,
vibes,
physically,
so you
but-
know, James Gunn has said every film is going to be different. So, which he wants
Maybe I
to
won't
do,
like
which is good. Which is good
That's
because
fine.
then
Yeah.
you don't. Everybody has like a director and a writer have a distinct kind of version, which is kind of nice. So,
As
they're
we just
getting
talked about
creative
for Man of Steel,
control.
right? And going to the Zack Snyder verse, like we won't have to worry about them all being the same.
wait, you didn't like those movies?
Don't let the mob
yeah,
attack me. James.
I liked it a lot too. I don't think I loved it like you guys did, but I had a lot of fun. I think it's a little messy with the plot overall. It's a little convoluted in the beginning, but I think it picks up its pace after that. And I had a lot of fun with it. I liked a lot of. I'm a pretty big DC fan. Out of all comics, I have more DC comics than anything else. So it was nice to finally see people in here, which is pretty cool. Especially like Mr. Terrific. That was pretty cool. After seeing the disastrous version that was on the CW. So what did you guys think about plot wise? Let's just start with you, Marco. Did it work for you?
I think it worked.
Kind of jumping in, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Like, it doesn't really, it
Yeah,
doesn't show the
I like
origins. It kind of jumps you in.
exactly. I don't think we need an origin. An origin in this, and I think that's what slowed down some of the previous incarnations, like Man of Steel. So it's like, I know some people say we should have had an origin story, but it's like if you have it, then you get bored with it. But if you don't have it, then you want it. So it's like make up your minds. I'm okay with it. I'm glad that it just puts you into it. If we're comparing this to other comic book movies, Spider-Man did the same thing. I know, different studio, different universe, but it kind of puts you in the middle of this guy's story. And I'm
you've
glad
already
that they
seen
did
it.
this.
I think it's because
Exactly.
you've already seen it so many times. I mean,
Yeah. Is it perfect? No, the plot isn't perfect, but it works for me still. There's a lot of talking at you, a lot of talking exposition that sometimes I feel isn't really necessary. I'm like, you could have
in the
probably just left
beginning,
that out.
especially, I would say, Marco, like the first
I
40
would
minutes got quite a bit of dialogue.
Yeah, I would say mainly the characters. Yeah, they just say things like there's one of the characters says, I gave up my humanity in order to become this. And I'm like, didn't really need to tell me that. You could have just showed me that, really. Like, I can tell, like, you're not a human anymore. Anyway, but stuff like that, I probably could have cleaned that up a little bit more. But I think the overall plot of it and everything worked out in the end. So I'm able to forgive that. to a point.
Nice. What about you, Bill? Anything like what worked for you? What didn't work for you?
Yeah, I mean, I like that we just jumped into it as well. I had some people that I went to watch a movie with felt that there should have been an origin story. I kind of disagreed with that, though. I think you've seen enough of it, and this was just a good way of like jumping in. And we get a little tease of his past, especially with his parents and the situation of what occurred there. I also agree with Marco's sentiment about the exposition. There was a lot of it into what you were saying, James, especially like even in the opening scene with the Superbots. I know it's played off for jokes, but also they are intentionally there to kind of give a lot of exposition. So
let me tell you why you're here.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay, we get it. But overall, I think that they lean a lot into the comic book stuff. And so they have like, for him, there's always a villain, right? And so I kind of like that they were just throwing in like in the comics where there's always something happening. He's always got to take care of something while also trying to put in the plot with him and Lex and his dog and like working through solving that. So it is in the sense the plot is just we're stuck in the middle of what's going on from whatever happened in the past, and we're jumping with him towards like wherever this big climax is. And I like that aspect of it instead of just feeling like we have to build up everything and understand his whole world and then go into the plot. I enjoyed that.
What about you, Mikey?
I think even if you don't know the origin story, there is enough of it in this movie, being that it's not in the same place as you normally would see an origin story, but you get enough of his stuff later on in the film that it kind of lays out like how his childhood was, how he kind of got raised a little bit. I think there's enough there to kind of not really need an origin story. But overall, this movie it kind of keeps it going. Like after it kind of sets you up and it starts going into things, I feel like it's really paced well after that little beginning part here with the dialogue.
Yeah, sounds good. What did you guys? So let's get into David Cornside as Superman. What did you guys think about him, Nibble?
Yeah, I think he played him well. I still think Christopher Reeve is a far more superior Superman and Clark Kent dynamic, but I think as far as second place, David Cornside does a solid job. You know,
you actually don't see him as Clark Kent as much as I thought you would.
I was just going to say the exact same thing. Like, I feel like we don't get enough of Clark. We get a little bit of it when he's interacting at the Daily Planet, but
just
it really isn't.
Beginning.
Just right then. There's the portion where they showed in the trailers where they're interviewing, Lois Lane is interviewing Superman, but is also with Clark. So you get to see a little bit of that dynamic, how he turns it on and off, but most of it is Superman. So he does a good job being Superman. I think that the whole character of like being good and trying to do the right thing, like they definitely are selling it to you. If you didn't believe it, like they're trying to hound it into you that this is what he believes in. But we don't get too much of Clark, but the aspects that we do get, I do think that he portrays it pretty well. But I feel like we didn't get to see a lot of it, so there's probably more
hopeful,
of that.
Though I like that aspect of it. He's hopeful. He has like a good, he's just like, I'm trying to be as human as you. I like the little speech he does with Lex at the end. We'll get more spoilers down the line, obviously, but I thought it was a really good change of pace. What do you think, Marco?
I liked him as Superman. I'm glad that they actually didn't show Clark that much. I mean, really, even again comparing comic book movies, even the new Batman movie didn't really show Bruce Wayne that much, and the central figure is Superman, and I get it. It's nice to wind down and see him play Clark Kent and his alter ego, but I don't think it's necessary. We're here to see Superman. It's a Superman movie. Let's see him, not be Clark Kent and deal with his problems as Superman. This is a guy that's been here already 3 years, so we can assume like in the background he's been Clark Kent. We don't really need to establish it that well. I'm okay if they do that later in the series or in another movie, but for this one I was totally fine with it, of just seeing like nothing but constant Superman, because I feel like otherwise I'd get bored otherwise. I think he embodies the Superman from the comics and a bit almost from the animated series. He can be serious and he can be a brute force, but he can also be very gentle and chipper and a bit campy. And I think Cornswet did it very well.
I'll say this much. Jumping into Lois Lane, I think Rachel Brosnahan, hands down, is the best Lois Lane. I really liked her
100%.
performance. I liked her chemistry, especially with David Cornswet. I thought there were some very like sweet moments between the two where I was like, oh, like that's cute of them. What did you think, Mikey?
Yeah, I agree. I like her as Lois. I liked that they have a relationship that's already established, and you're kind of seeing I don't want to say aftermath because it's obviously a relationship here that's kind of building still, but they're
really new.
I mean,
like
there's
3
fighting,
months,
right? Yeah. So there's more of a of a different aspect than we see in the previous films. There's differences between the two. They don't agree on certain things. And there's also a part where she is very determined to find Superman, right? There's a part where he's kind of lost, or they don't really know what's going on, and she kind of helps go out and find him and kind of do some research with the help of Jimmy Olsen.
They show her as a capable reporter. Like she's it's not just like an insert of like happenstance. Like she's going out of her way to find.
It's what I was trying to get at with like Man of Steel, where they're like, God, Zack Snyder threw it down your fucking throat. Like, look, she's a strong, independent woman. Love her. Well, you gotta like her for what she does. Look, she's telling them they're not comparing dick sizes. Yeah, just do a little more natural, Zachy. Come on, baby.
Yeah, maybe showing just the actions rather than the dialogue.
Yeah,
right.
Maybe have someone else write these goddamn movies, Zach. I don't know.
And she knew her limitations, right? Like when she was with Mr. Terrific, and that scene, like she knew where she could be in, and she wasn't just going to throw herself into the middle of action, and Well,
also she's overwhelmed. Right,
Yeah,
she hasn't really been in the thick of action
to leave.
Right.
So I like that she was like kind of surprised, like
she's not a wartime. She's not a wartime reporter, Mikey. I'm sorry, I'm mixing the versions together now.
Jimmy Olsen just shot right next to her and then has to move on from it. Yeah,
I wasn't 100% sold on Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I liked his performance. I think he'll just get better. He comes off as kind of obnoxious to me, the way that he's doing things, and I don't know. He is evil, don't get me wrong, but for him, he is out of the three the weakest link out of it. Not by much, but it's the one where like I know they'll develop probably into a better role eventually. I don't know. I'm probably in the minority on that one.
I think it worked for me, man. Yeah, he showed that he was incredibly smart, that he can get his hands dirty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say what he does, but he does show that he can do it himself if he wants to. He just chooses not to because he's super smart. He's like the opposite Superman, where he inspires people to do evil stuff. And it shows because he's got all his goons doing everything, literally like picking stuff up for him. And it shows that he is that much of a threat that people look up to him, even though he is essentially a man-child, who's a fucking psychopath.
I think that's what got to me a little bit, though, Marco. Like, there's parts of it where I was like, he's kind of annoying.
There was a lot of dialogue, a lot of like monologues that he was doing, which I like the ending.
Like, I get it, dude. You fucking hate him. Like, continue. Like, I don't need to hear you.
I feel that, James. I feel.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. But I think like with future films, I'll probably grow like, he's pretty good now.
Yeah, I think they were trying to show his cockiness. Like he was way too overconfident. Like this guy, he may be super strong, but he ain't gonna outsmart me. There's no effing way.
I do agree though. He's like the third, but it's only because the other two are so good.
They're really good. Yeah, they're pretty solid. So I think it's hard to stay that level, especially because they have more interactions too, I would say.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, Mikey, like that's probably why. Like especially chemistry wise, like you really feel kind of like the love they have for each other, and then you get like then Lex obviously is the fucking thorn in his side.
He shined really more when he was face to face with Superman. Their dynamic between each other, I think, worked
especially
really
when he's
well.
like, without spoiling, like when he's in a position where he's kind of locked up and they're kind of saying stuff to each other. I thought that was that, and there's an interaction later on in the movie too, where it's pretty good. I would say kind of different, but comparing him to other Lexes is kind of like. He's up there, I would still say, Mikey.
Yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg is still,
Poor guy.
Remember? He had the P, Mikey. What about the Justice Gang? Did you guys like how, I don't know if you guys are familiar with D-list superheroes like I am, but it's pretty cool to see Guy Gardner, he's like the asshole Green Lantern. Hawk Girl's just there. Like, they don't really explain a lot of her stuff. If you saw Shazam, once again, you might be a little confused. You're like, wait a minute. The Justice Society? Where the fuck is the Justice Society at? Hawkman's there. What's going on here, man? This is crazy. And then also, like I said, Mr. Terrific. Pretty awesome that they brought him in. What'd you guys think about it overall?
Mr. Terrific is amazing.
Yeah, Mr. Terrific is fun. The characters are fun as a whole. I mean, we don't get much of Hawkgirl. We get a little bit near the end.
He's probably the least out of the three, I would say. Yeah,
he's underutilized. Nathan Fillion is just when he's on screen stealing the show as always. So he's just fun.
I still wish they had cast him as Green Lantern like 15 years ago. It would have been
great as Hal Jordan.
Yeah, because he played him in animated stuff too. So I was like, God, he was like the guy. So
but he was fun as Guy Gardner, and I. Look forward to seeing him on the show. And Mr. Terrific, I didn't know much about him, to be honest, from the comics. So seeing him on here, I really like him. I think he's fun. I think this is
awesome.
A solid character.
I'm really glad they did his character well, by the way.
Echoing what these guys said, they were amazing every time they were on screen. I love that their name was a running gag, and they kept saying like it's a working title, but Guy Gardner's like, no, it's official. I like that dynamic. I know they're going to be in season 2 of Peacemaker, so I'm hoping maybe they'll get into some of their backstories there, and Guy Gardner will be in Lanterns. But they got enough for this movie. I don't think we needed more than what we got because they're just supporting cast and to show that there's other superheroes here that have existed other than Superman. And
it's cool. Like they had the little hints in the Hall of Justice of, past members and all that stuff.
Yeah. And they were in a way still part of Superman's arc too.
I mean, they're going to become the Justice League, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. Of course, but I mean, for this, it's kind of a spoiler.
It was weird.
I'll wait till the end for what I meant.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they got Maxwell Lord funding them, which is a red flag in my opinion. So
yeah.
Wait a minute, but he was in Wonder Woman 84. What do you mean? It's Pedro Pascal's character. That's weird.
Things are good.
Why is he James Gunn's brother now?
It could be better.
Did you guys love when they're fighting the alien
in the background?
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, when he's like, it's a dimensional imp, and then Guy Gardner's in it with like a green bat.
Lois and him are having like almost a serious conversation about like crypto being gone or whatever.
And it's funny,
it's just a bunch of shit going on.
It's funny because that was like one of the first teasers they showed was that scene of him like putting his boots on that, and you're like, oh shit, is he fighting Brainiac or like what? That was the rumor. Once again, they're just never gonna do Brainiac. So
and some people were like, why isn't he out there fighting? And it's like he
it's because he literally was like, oh, they got it controlled. It's not a big deal. Like apparently that's like fucking common. I mean, for God's sakes, he fight a kaiju at one point, and it's just like it's just like a normal thing.
It just reminds me of like the Suicide Squad, right? Where they're fighting what's that Starro? Like it's just some random thing that's there, and we just have to battle it. And it's for Superman.
Oh, that
again,
wasn't
because we're in the middle of it.
That was the secret.
No, I know that, but I mean, like from Superman's perspective, like it's just a normal monster of the week for him kind of thing. It's like
I do wish they would have let that happen more towards the end of the conversation, like post conversation, like it's quiet and we see the background and let that conversation breathe a little bit. That's really one of my
that was
nitpicks.
a good conversation though. That's when he kind of admits that he loves her and everything.
That's why I wish they would have let that conversation breathe.
Where she's like, no one likes that. And he's like, I mean, there's some fans, and then later on you find out he had a poster. I'm like, oh, it's not about itself. That's the band he likes. Yeah, so I mean, and then Nabil, you talked about Crypto. I thought Crypto was awesome.
He's cute though.
Yep,
he was my least favorite part about this movie, though.
Really,
they used him a little too. They used him a little too much, in my opinion. I mean, I get it, but he didn't. It wasn't that much of a deterrence, but they used him a lot more than I thought they would.
I mean, they used him a lot more than I thought they would, but that's what I was saying earlier. I thought based off of the trailer, it was gonna, for me, I thought it was gonna be hokey and it was just gonna be thrown in, but he actually served purpose. Like the fact that Superman's whole thing, it devolves into who he is as a character. Is like, what did he say? He's out there alone and scared probably, and he's like, that's his driving force for even a dog. There's a kaiju in the background, like destroying a city, and he's like, I gotta save this dog, that I don't like. And I'm scared that he's worried. I feel like he used him pretty well.
The reveal at the end too.
Yeah, it's a good emotional.
Which I knew was going to happen. I even told Mikey, I was like, I know who dog that is. Yeah,
I didn't know that. That was a good twist.
Same.
I was like, I know who he's watching it for, which was nice.
See, I didn't catch him say that. I missed when he said that. Otherwise, I would have assumed the same. But I think he didn't overstay his welcome. I think it was enough, and
I think he had that. So it's like Guardians 3, how they had Cosmo, right? So it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of looked at it. Just enough to like being, he's a cute creature.
I mean, he does go up to, I guess a little spoiler, but he goes up to Lex and says, "Where's my dog?" And it's just like, it lasts for a little bit longer than I wanted to, but also I'm like, okay, I get it. Like he's really upset and he doesn't trust Lex. So,
Yeah. I think that's the first time they've ever met, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it kind of makes it implied, like, oh, we finally meet. He's like, you want a coffee?
I like how he's just pushing his buttons by acting so freaking chill.
He's whispering as he sips.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah, he's like, what'd you say? He's like,
you heard that, right? You heard it.
So did you guys like the lighter tone compared to, I mean, coming off the Snyderverse stuff here, something we've got to kind of talk about. It's a little more bright, a little more, I mean, kind of the message is a little bit more a message of hope, I would say. What do you guys think? Open question.
It made me feel like it was a Superman film. Like that's who the character is. All the other characters we've seen in like the Snyderverse, but also in just other portrayals of DC characters, they have their dark story, but Superman's always supposed to be a bit brighter and lighter and hopeful, and they still try to show some of the humanity of Clark or Kal-El, like working through his emotions and like the situation he's in, and that's great. But they're not doing it in a place where it's like super dark or super heavy. He's still optimistic. He's still good, and that's what I've always liked about Superman. And I think that James Gunn really did a good job of like putting that on screen for this character.
I think it's the perfect amount of light. It doesn't overstay its welcome, and it's not like too campy. It's the perfect amount of light. He still shows emotion, like he still gets mad, he still gets sad. You know, he shows his full range of emotions, and you know, it's the movie's not afraid to take itself serious at times. I mean, he gets his ass kicked, you know, when he's overpowered. So I think that it's well balanced. Overall, well balanced.
Yeah, I would say it still has a little campiness to it. It's almost like a nod back to the original films, in my opinion. But it's not like enough to blatantly be like, oh, this is cheesy. Right. But like action wise, jumping in action, I thought the action was done fairly well. It's not too action heavy, surprisingly enough. But when the action does happen, there are a few key sequences that I really liked.
There's different types of action too. Like, you know, Superman goes in and he's like saving people while the Justice Gang is taking on the kaiju. Right.
He even saving a
little chipmunk. Yeah. Or a squirrel. Yeah.
Squirrel.
So,
here you go, little guy.
So, I mean, he's going around. So there's like different things kind of happening, different feels through the different action. Like Mr. Terrific and his one scene where he's like guarding Lois was really a lot different feel than the other stuff that went around. So they just had a lot of different styles of stuff going on.
Somebody said that's the Yondu scene.
Yeah, basically. That's true.
Hey, maybe it works, right? Let's get into, we want to talk about spoilers, so let's get into our overall ratings before we get into that. So there's not much to spoil, but you know, there's enough to, I don't know. I mean, if you don't go on social media and not getting it spoiled by now, that's a miracle. But start with you, Marco. What's your rating?
4.5 stars. I think it's the best Superman movie to date.
Bill, what about you?
I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with this.
Mikey?
I gave it 4.5 stars as well. It's a fantastic movie. Liked it a lot.
I gave it 4 stars. Just as good as the first movie to me. Just above the second, Returns, and Man of Steel.
What about 3?
That one has a special place in my heart as well. So let's get into the spoiler section. If you don't want to hear about, if you've seen the movie already, stick around. If not, I'd say skip ahead. Hear about the one movie that we're seeing the week after. Just one. Sports section. So real quick, Ultraman, by the way, we didn't really mention him. I mean, if you guys already, I knew right off the bat, I was like, he's a clone of Superman. So
yeah.
It wasn't like,
it was obvious.
Yeah. Nabil looks like he just found that out.
I did not know at the time.
Nabil. How did you get to the fortress?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he gets into the fortress, I knew it was
I was thinking he had some DNA on him. I didn't realize Ultraman. Maybe? Yeah.
It's the engineer? Like, yeah. So, like, what do you guys think of, like, Ultraman, his reveal, where he looks like Anakin Skywalker? And then he
does kind of look like Anakin. Yeah.
How did that work for you guys? Long haired, dumb David Cornsweet.
Sure, fine. I mean, we didn't really do much with Ultraman. He was just there to
he's just kind of a baddie to kind of equal and fight him. And then,
it's kind of more like Bizarro in a way.
I almost thought like the way that Bizarro, they're doing it. No, I mean, that's not his real origin, though. I mean, it could be, though. They could do that.
Yeah, they could blend those two characters together.
Yeah, they could do that. Not how it should go, but I mean, who knows? I thought the engineer was interesting. I didn't really know a lot about her leading into this one, too.
Well, she gave up her humanity for everything, James. Remember she said it?
She told you.
Oh, when she did a backwards flip around when she could have just turned around?
Yeah.
I saw that,
but
too.
then we don't see the nanotech.
Yeah, you could just turn around. That was gross. He was like spinning it out at one point. He's like,
yeah. I thought she was pretty cool, though. She's a formidable foe. And
yeah, it was cool. And then she, when she came crashing down, at one point I told Mike, he said, that bitch just die. But no, she's like, she's got a pulse. I'm like, oh yeah, this one doesn't really kill people, I guess. Biggest one is probably the twist with Clark's, his Kryptonian parents, which played by Bradley Cooper, by the way, and Angela Serafin, who's the last way I remember her from her show was Westworld. So
that's where I remember her from too.
Same.
Yeah, pretty wild that their message is like his second half, because like he doesn't hear that first half. The second half is like take over that goddamn planet. and get as
I
much
like that
wives
they-
and repopulate. I was like, damn.
Yeah. I like that they did
It's
that.
from
though, like-
Birthright, so
Yeah, it's not the first time that.
It's not. But it is just kind of like
It gives
damn.
it conflict for him because he's like, "Who am I now?" You know.
No,
like-
but I think it helps because it shows that he like makes his own decisions. Like,
Yeah,
it's not,
exactly.
you know, he
Yeah.
decides to like follow his own path.
Well, and also it kind of gives him contrast from his like birth parents and his adopted parents. So his
Right.
adopted parents
I
are
thought
kind
it
of
was just kind of hilarious though.
Yeah. The harem. That's what they kept saying. He has a
Yeah.
harem of
you
women.
have a harem? That's the first thing he says.
Ty Gardner, he's like, what the hell,
Yeah.
man? Sorry, Mikey, we cut you off. Like his other parents, you know, are very like supportive. Dad's
Yeah.
kind of it's kind of cool. This one, Jonathan Kent doesn't die, which once again, he doesn't always die in all the stories.
All right.
Not like Spider-Man, where his uncle don't make it.
Uncle Ben, he has to die.
With great power comes
That-
great responsibility and abs.
But that talk he has with his dad when his dad tells him that he's so proud of him, it's all right. That got to me. Any dad scene gets to me. Okay, I get it.
That was fine. I didn't feel like it had a lot of emotional weight to it. I know it had a little bit, but I was like,
A
they
little
didn't-
bit, but there was no emotional moments in this movie that hit me at all.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that scene where he's talking to his dad, and I also like the scene. I think James mentioned it earlier, where he's kind of doing like a monologue with Luther. It kind of goes back to what he talked to his dad. He was like, "Hey, I'm more human than you are," almost is what he's saying. Like, "Hey, I make mistakes. I just try to do my best," and it kind of just again
That was
kind
his
of like what I
everyday
liked in
man
the
scene. I got one left foot and right.
Well, it's like he tried to like reach out to Lex and be like, "Dude, why are we even fucking doing this, man?" We're
Dude, he
both,
basically was
what's
like,
your-"
dude, can you stop acting like a bitch? That's basically
basically, dude. It's like, dude, what is your problem with me? Yeah, I like that he tried to reach out to him like that and just, you know.
And then his conversation does cut short because Crypto just mauls the fuck out of him.
Yeah. Which again, good use of crypto. That was great.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
How did he know Crypto would hold back though?
Because Crypto doesn't kill either.
Yeah.
It's just very playful.
'Cause, I mean, he could hurt Superman, so I'm just like, ooh, I hope he's not biting with full force.
Well, he breaks his arm.
Yeah, that's true.
Thoughts on any of the cameos, by the way? So, like, Peacemaker shows up in a little,
This is funny.
very Peacemaker-like, where he's talking
Very
shit about
Peacemaker.
Superman. He's like, this is
Yeah.
what happens.
Hilarious.
This is what happens. I was like, nice. I like that. But Rick Flag Sr.'s in this one. He's from Creature Commandos.
I think that's cool. I'm glad that they're using him and gonna have him have a prominent role. I know he's gonna be in
disappears,
Peacemaker.
though, in the movie.
He does.
One of the bigger ones, though, is probably the Supergirl cameo at the
That
end.
was a cool cameo.
Comes back to
Yeah,
get
I
her
thought it was
dog.
fun.
Comes back to get Crypto.
Well,
So,
she came back from partying, as
Yeah.
the robots explain.
Long night.
which I don't know if you guys have read World of Tomorrow, but it's very similar to that character.
Yeah,
which
she goes to
Supergirl one is going to be based on.
yeah, she goes to
She just-
planets with red suns to get smashed and stuff.
It's kind of
It's
cool to see
trauma
like
from-
difference between the two, and yeah, it's trauma because she's dealing with like she remembers Krypton, like
Mhm.
Right.
Cal doesn't.
I thought it was a nice little intro, and the twist that Crypto's actually her dog. I thought it was pretty cool
See, not a twist
And
to me
then-
though. I was like,
That was
And it-
supposed to me.
because I didn't hear that line. That's why I missed it. I don't
no,
know
but
if-
Crypto's always technically her dog, so that's why I was like,
Oh, I didn't know
that's
that.
not
I
his
was
dog though.
I didn't know that.
I was like,
And then she,
"Oh."
I like that she calls him a bitch.
that I could have done without, honestly, especially at the end.
I liked it.
For
Later,
me,
bitch.
I was like, all right. I mean, I get it, but I was like, you could have held off on that, especially because you're having like this touching moment where he's like, let me see images of my parents, and it's not his Kryptonian ones anymore. It's his actual, like Mikey said, it's Ma and Pa Kent.
Yeah, but she's hungover, bro. You can't. She's
Yeah.
unhinged.
Yeah.
You know?
She don't- I felt that more with the scene when they were kissing and the monster, the gang was fighting the monster in the background.
I like the scene where he's like, let me get that interview, and they go off to the side and just to like make out and fly it. I was like,
Yeah.
that's sweet. That's some bullshit
Yeah,
I
I
pull.
like that.
And then Perry's like, "How long have they been together?"
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. I also find it hilarious that Lois misjudges the amount of seats in Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Terrific's thing, and then one guy's like, wait, why don't I have a seat? Because like there's 6 of them, there's only 5 seats, so he's getting like blasted around and shit. So
I also
I like
like when
that
they're
too.
getting Mr. Terrific's spaceship, the garage door opens so slow.
hella
She's
slow,
like,
yeah.
You have a spaceship, but you can't get a faster garage door opener?
He's like, it's new.
Just
It's
hella
new.
random.
We're working on it because it takes a while. It's just like, Very James Gunn-esque kind of touch to it all. So
his little anecdotes of comedy was always it's a good touch in the film.
So are you guys looking forward to the future slate here coming up? I mean, next month I think we got Peacemaker. Next year, Supergirl, Lanterns, Clayface, all coming out next year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see the fact that they're going to have their own tone. Like the films are just going to be, they'll be a part of the universe, but also their own film. I like that idea, and I think that'll be a fun way to just not make it feel like it has to be tied to whatever happened before.
Yeah, Bill's like, what about Doomsday though? It's coming out next year.
That would be great.
They're going to be confused because he looks like Iron Man.
No, I'm excited too. I think this is a nice stepping stone to the world building, and we have characters that could, go off to other properties and say, oh, that person was in Superman. I know they had a small character from the ending of the Suicide Squad. It was the girl who hit Amanda Waller and knocked her out. She shows up in the Superman movie, so they're kind of showing like the interconnection of all these movies, which is cool.
I don't even remember that person. I'm not gonna lie.
I saw it on a trivia video. That's the only reason I know.
Oh, I did like that Guy Gardner when he shows up. He's like, "Sorry, Supes didn't get it, but you got an upgrade," and he just started kicking ass.
Yeah,
I like that too. I like it show that Superman inspired, because at first they were just like, "Oh, we don't care about anything else. We're just doing our thing," and then Superman inspires
Guy Gardner
them.
has always been a very interesting character, and it's cool that they brought him in, which is funny.
Yeah, so that's where they land into his arc.
Yeah, it shows you like Green Lanterns don't have to be nice guys.
Mm-hmm.
It just means like you have to have strong will, and Green Lantern, the rings are like attracted to people with strong will.
Yeah.
And like Guy Gardner, even though he's an asshole, in the comics, he is a very like loyal person.
That's pretty cool.
All right, guys. So we watched it all. Who's your guys' favorite Superman? Mikey, we'll start with you.
Christopher Reeve, the original. He does a great job with both Superman and with Clark Kent. He really seems dedicated to the role. I like the way he portrayed him.
Marco, what about you?
It's Corn Sweat, and I hope that's not recency bias, but felt like Saturday mornings when I would watch The Adventures of Superman back in the 90s, and that's what I felt like I was watching, and that was one of my favorite Superman ever. So
what about you, Nabil?
I like Christopher Reeve overall. He's just had a good duality of the two characters, and he knew what he was putting together as far as building out Superman from the other comics. So still, I like watching him shown on screen over anything else that we saw with those films.
Me too.
So
I agree.
And James is Brian Ralph, we know.
Christopher Reeve is Christopher Reeve 2.0. Yeah. My pick is Christopher Reeve as well. I think it's also when you if you know a lot about the background of like what he really put into that movie, that's why they did so well. The dedication he had.
Yeah.
And how sad it was that the outcome, all this stuff, especially by the third and fourth movie where they really shafted him on shit, and then like he was planning another one and then the accident happened and it's just fucking heartbreaking. So who's your guys' favorite Lois Lane?
Rachel Brosnahan.
Marco.
Rachel Brosnahan as well.
Yeah, the same. Rachel Brosnahan is awesome.
Amy Adams. Just kidding. Fuck you. No. What about Lex Luthor? Start it up, Mikey.
I'll go with Kevin Spacey. I know we're not supposed to really talk about him, but I liked his version.
It's okay. K-Pax is an amazing movie. Go, Marco.
Nicholas Hoult.
Jesse Eisenberg. I'm just kidding.
You're like, Mark Zuckerberg. No. The Zuck. I love the Zuck a lot.
I like Nicholas Hoult a lot. So.
I actually like Kevin Spacey the most. Still. So Zod, I just throw it in. Fuck it. Go for it.
Shannon.
Michael Shannon.
Oh, yeah. Michael Shannon. Come on now.
Nah, Terrence Stamp, baby.
Jeez.
It's because when he walks in the White House with the machine gun, he's just doing that little shimmy.
He's shoot the machine gun. A little bit. He's on. Dude, his kneel before Zod gets to me every time. He started that shit, dude.
No, when he says, "Oh God, Zod."
Where's this Superman? Oh no! Favorite side character, none.
Yeah.
Anyone else, by the way, that you thought was a good iteration of somebody? I mean, there's not much other
I love Wendell Pierce, and I wish it was more.
I will say he's underused though. This movie, unfortunately,
underused, yeah. But I'm a big fan of Wendell Pierce, and I wish that they got to see him more on here. But he did a pretty solid Perry White. I'm looking forward to seeing more, hopefully, in other films.
Yeah, I liked him.
Jimmy Olsen.
Just from this one, or are you just saying?
Yeah, just from this one. Yeah.
Damn, Marco, we get it. You like this movie. Fuck.
This one slays.
He's like, I like that he fucks, guys.
I still like Russell Crowe. I think is a really solid Jor-El too, by the way.
He is.
from
That's
Minnesota.
a solid Jor-El.
Oh yeah,
You don't like
he's
Brando?
probably my favorite.
What's up with Brando?
I always like Marlon Brando. Don't get me wrong. I like him in a lot of movies. I don't think he's the greatest Jor-El, only because I think it's because I know too much about how big of an asshole he was during this production.
Yeah.
Like it goes a long way when you know a little bit more of the behind the scenes drama, and that
One last one. I
So-
do like Frank Langella's Perry White the most.
I do too.
Yeah. He's good.
I mean, I have a
He's a
soft
good
spot
actor,
for Frank Langella. So
Yeah.
yeah,
He's solid.
it's freaking.
That's what I'm saying.
He's
There's
Skeletor.
parts of there's parts of yeah, he is. There's parts of Superman Returns that, like I said, really work for me. But it's just
Yeah.
nowadays though, just like
All right.
Man of Steel. It's a story of oldest time. I don't know.
Diminishing returns.
So out of the ones we saw, what has been your favorite Superman film so far?
No one takes it
Marco,
from
we
me.
already know your answer. Yep, Mikey, got your answer. Nabil, what about you?
The Superman 2, the Donner cut. I still
Oh yeah, shit, I forgot you've seen it 962 times.
like. Exactly.
He's trying to reach that 1 milli.
I think for me, it's still Superman 1978. It's still my favorite. That is the end of the podcast. We appreciate you all for tuning in. Marco, let them know how they can reach us.
You can listen and follow us on your preferred podcast platform. We are everywhere. For a convenient link to all our social media channels, visit linktree/moviepalspod. That's linktr.ee/moviepalspod. And remember, smash that subscribe button and you'll never miss an episode in this adventure or the next.
Plus, catch us on TikTok for a sneak peek of upcoming episodes and more exciting moving content. Follow us at Movie Pals Pop.
Make sure to tune in for our next episode, podcast episode number 203, where we will be reviewing just one movie. That's right. It's The Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Thank you, Nabil. Till next time, this is James.
Marco?
Nabil.
And Mike.
Have a great one.